Alrighty guys, so we got the car up on jack stands, and we're just going to get straight into it. So, just emptied the oil, and I filled up the good old, if you saw a couple of videos ago, we made this custom piece. So it filled up this completely, and that halfway. This thing has a big custom sump on it, so it takes a heap of oil. I'm not sure how many litres it takes, but I suppose I just buy 2 5-litres, and yeah, that should do plenty. So the bloke had water in it because obviously it wasn't running for so many years. So yeah, hence why the colour's very clear and a little bit orange. But we just took that bottom hose off. The coolant's dropped, oil's dropped, catch can's empty, trans line that was loose, that's been nipped up. I might try see if I can crack that oil filter off. So drop the fuel out of it. These are great because they've got a little drain plug on the bottom of the tank, so that makes it super easy. We'll roll it off these ramps. Alright, Super Cheap's just fucking rolled me again. I got some coolant, so when we do the flush, we can chuck some fresh stuff in. So I also got a radiator flush and clean. Got a filter, some oil. Because we have the upgraded sump, I'd grab double the amount of oil that I need. Get a little bit of this. Make sure you lube up your seal. Jordan, what do you make sure you do before you put your filter on? Lube your seal. Lube your seal. Alright, we're going to slap this old geezer on. And just don't do it too tight. For God's sake. We had to do the old screwdriver trick to get the old one off, and it was just a disaster. Thank you. Alrighty. First thing on the list today is we're going to flush this cooling system. So, we've got some diluted water and a smidgen of coolant, and we've got some radiator flush and clean. So, we're going to run these two through, run it for 20 minutes, let it idle. I'm going to have to stick something in here. I'm going to have to work out how to get this thing just to idle, because it won't sit up and idle because it's untuned. So yeah, as long as I can get it to idle, sit it here for 20 minutes, or worst comes to worst, I'll have to sit in the cab. Let it idle up, do its thing, and then we can drop it once it cools down. And then we can put the fresh Penrite stuff in, and look at that. Let's see if that works. Too much. Alright, we're going to put something smaller on there. Skip a few steps and we're here. So went to all the effort putting the engine flush in. So we dropped that now, and now we're just going to put the hose. We're going to put the hose through the motor, clear everything out. We try to do it without taking the thermostat out, but we pulled it out and it looks like it needs to be done anyway. Obviously this car's had water in it for, a fair while now, so we're going to squirt it through and see what it cleans up like. I ordered one of these as well. We just went to Mish and picked up a fuel filter, some spark plugs for the dyno. And yeah, it's been serviced. I've got some coolant for it when it's ready and it's all clean. But other than that, we're good to go. Brake fluids, all good. So yeah, we'll order one of these for the moment. Let's clean this up. All right, so we've got what we need. Cleaned up that surface. Got all the blue RTV off it. So we go home. I think these are double-sided, sticky or something. Slap one side on the clean side. So I took off the top housing as well, just re-siliconed it, made sure it was all sweet. So we got the new thermostat in there with the housing back on, all the lines plumbed up. Time to put some decent coolant in it now. So actually flushed out really well. Inside the engine looked fine, really. More the radiator copped it than anything. You can see a little bit of sludge in there. Well, not sludge, but discoloration. But look, it's the best it's going to get, I reckon, without going overboard and without having a machine here. So we know it's clean, we know it's been flushed. The only thing now, yeah, we just got to run some new stuff in it and see how that goes. New coolant's in with me good old dodgy Solo bottle. So I went to go buy another one, like a proper coolant bleeder, but it's like $115, and look, I ain't about that life right now. I got to get this thing tuned next week, so I gave it a miss. So I'll just continue seeing how this goes, and yeah, we'll update you once we're finished. Shout out to Mish. Got a Ryko filter to suit. It's a little bit bigger than the current one in there, because we may have got one from VL, but that's not an issue. We'll slap this in. Super easy install. Couple of hose clamps, and yeah, slap the new one in. So picking up where we left off, we just finished on the fuel filter, which was super easy install, and we bled the system. So I haven't had to top that up since we bled it, which is wicked. So I've obviously done that correctly, which is good. And in the meantime, while I was waiting for that to all happen, slapped together a bit of a battery bracket. It's a bit jank, but look, it's going to work. The reason why I can't use a standard one is because the intercooler piping doesn't allow the battery to sit how it's meant to. So the way I've made these brackets is so it runs across this way of the battery instead of the standard way. So we got that out of the way. We just got to figure out what's happening with these headlights. So one side will work on high beams. None of them won't work on low beams. I know there's working globes in both sides, so hopefully get that resolved. But for now, for the moment, we're going to check the rear end. We're just going to check the rear end. I want to see how much movement is in the diff, and also pull the inspection point off the back of the diff and just have a look and see the condition of the oil and that it's topped up. So let's have a look at this diff. That's really good, no major play. That's probably the nicest 31 diff I've actually ever seen. Obviously it's rebuilt with 411s. The Skyline with the barrier in it, so the XR31 is shocker for that. It's honestly a quarter of a rotation in slack. It's not loose, it's just forked. This has to be the stupidest shit. So this is the inspection point on the back of the diff. Usually they're threaded, but this is just a rubber bung. It just slips in there. It's clean, it's topped up. I'm happy with that. A little bit of an update. All the lights are working. It ended up being the stalk inside the vehicle. So we just looked on the back shelf, put a new one in it, and it works sweet as. Battery's not connected. I'll put the Venetians in, went over the vehicle and tightened up all the wheel nuts. Make sure, went over with a breaker bar, make sure they're all tight. So tomorrow we're going to go grab a trailer, put the car on the trailer, run up to the dyno, drop it off there, and Clint from Fast Tune is going to deal with all that. It's probably going to be there a couple of days just because he wants to sort out the idle issue and the cold start. So make sure the cold start's dialed in. And other than that, tomorrow, like I said, we pick up the trailer and we can drop it down there. So let's roll that clip. All right, the old girl's on the trailer. Slap some fresh 98 in it. Let's go to this dyno, boys.